Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, and peace to all my non-Muslim brothers and sisters. How y'all doing? Now we back to talk about a topic that's like new. People talking about it, but it's not really new. And it's revolving around a very polarizing figure. My man's Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, for those wondering who is Umar and his comments about Islam, Dr. Umar Johnson and his comments about Islam. But for those who are wondering who is Umar Johnson is a Pan-Africanist figure who's a psychologist, right? Who worked in the public school system, who is not advocating for black liberation in the form of black people creating for themselves many different fronts. He's not really for the mixing of races if it comes at the expense of your own race. In particular, he wants black men to marry black women. That's a little joke, but it's true. But he's very much a very pro-black Pan-Africanist activist, as well as social media figure, and also the founder of the Frederick Douglass school. I don't know which state it's in right now, but yeah, he's an educator as well. Either way, Dr. Umar Johnson was originally born Muslim, right? He was born Muslim, or he was raised Muslim, right? He's from Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, I've seen a video from the past. Recently, it's been a recent clip of him talking about his issues that he has with Islam, right? Now, there was a video of the past of him talking about how he felt about as far as Islam. Now, when he talked about it in the past, he said in the video, he was like, I love Islam, and I love those elders, and I respect them who helped basically shape who he is today, right? They contributed. But the issue that he had, they weren't thinking about their people. They were busy saying, forget the people, it's about Islam. Now, Dr. Umar Johnson said this, and in a recent clip, he was talking about his issue, and he said, basically it almost feels like it's a deification of Arab culture and Arabness, right? And he brought that point up. Now, the point about Dr. Umar Johnson I would like to address in regards to this particular topic. Because it's like his experience, we cannot invalidate his experience, right? And experiences, depending on if the person is sincere or not, have some truth to them, right? Regardless of what we may say, certain experiences, in fact, yeah, they have truth to them. If the person is sincere, right? You can't really always tell, you can never tell somebody's sincerity, right? But certain experiences, they have truth to them based on if they're sincere or not. So I'm saying that to say this. He's wrong and he's right. Or, let me reflip it. I'm sorry. He's right and he's wrong. And this is where I go. Let's address where I believe he's right on the front of this. A lot of the times, and Islam doesn't say this, people say this. Our black brothers and sisters, whether here or in Africa or wherever, when we adopt a lot of religious viewpoints, but let's even say the Islamic viewpoint, a lot of things of our heritage, right, that may not necessarily be related to fiqh-related things of jurisprudence, what is legal, halal, what is unlawful, haram, right? Halal and haram. We kind of tend to just abandon everything and then do what? Adopt the other viewpoints, right? So, certain cultures, of course, they're strong, they keep it, but a lot of us, we go deep when we go. Like our black brothers and sisters here in the States, right? They will join these movements and these people, and they're 100% in, which is great, right? You're supposed to be committed to things. But they also, they lose a portion of themselves in the process, right? Or you get the instance where certain people come to our communities to educate us, but you can never tell somebody's intent. But when they educate us, they try to educate us with, this is the information and this is the culture that you have to take with the information. They kind of package it and then they give it to you, right? Or you have certain ideological movements that have confused black people into thinking that Islam is, you only worry about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you worry about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you forget about your people. No, this is qawmiyah, why are you thinking about your people? Why are you thinking about this? Especially in places where they have they have certain areas and pockets in certain cities where they have way more restrictive restrictive Islamic interpretations. Philadelphia is an example, right? So I can see if him growing up in that atmosphere and him questioning, well, okay, Islam does all these great things and preaches liberation, helping against the oppressed. My people are oppressed. Why can't I take this same ideology to help free my people, to help alleviate the issues that they're having, right? You see what I'm saying? So I can see him having that perspective. And then also the other thing that affects a lot of us in the black community and a lot of Muslims worldwide, if you don't have the proper tarbiyah in place, the knowledge, right? Somebody who understands the fiqh, who also has hikmah, because you can't just have fiqh and no hikmah. You know what I mean? You can't just have ilm and no hikmah, I mean. Knowledge and no wisdom. How to apply the knowledge. What to say, what not to say. What to hold back on, what to give, right? So when you have an instance where in our communities we don't have a lot of the hikmah, or we don't have the ilm, sometimes we'll have the hikmah, mashallah, because the sincerity is there and Allah sends that with hikmah as a barakah, but we won't have the ilm, right? Or we'll have the ilm, but we don't have the hikmah, right? So in these communities, you may have points where people tell you don't focus on these things, worry about your Islam, don't worry about anything else. But part of your Islam is living your day-to-day life, right? Okay, let's say shahada, salat, zakat, hajj, siyam, fasting. Those are the 5 pillars of Islam, right? Okay, these are my 5 pillars, but all of these 5 pillars you do inside of the world. Like all of them are related to, okay, shahada, you do your shahada, it gotta be witnesses. Or not, it has to be witnesses, right? But you do your shahada, typically it's witnesses there, right? You do Saum, you're fasting, but it's typically the Saum they're talking about is the Ramadan Saum. You do it with all the other Muslimin. You do Hajj with all the other. So it's like a communal thing where externally you see others. But if you go out in your community and the externally others you seeing are suffering, it can do something to people sometimes. You know what I mean? And it can make people question, well, okay, this is the truth, but why are we not applying it to our reality, right? So that's where I would say a lot, sometimes you can see that. And sometimes you even see it with other communities maybe we as black people try to go to when we try to attend certain masjids. They try to get us to adopt not just their interpretation of Islam, but also their culture as well. Like, oh, leave this thing, do this instead, you know? And make us forget about who we are, right? And what we do and how we do things. You feel what I'm saying? So then the parts where I would say I disagree with the doc. Where I disagree with the doc is Islam is not a deification. I hope I'm using that word, and I'm hoping that's what he said, but I'm 99% sure. But 1% you can always be wrong. But Islam is not a deification of Arab culture. No. No. Yes, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was he Arab? Yeah, he was Arab. But never did he said in his last khutbah, the Arab is not superior to the non-Arab, right? The white is not superior to the black, right? We are all equal in Islam. Now, yes, he is Arab of Arab, this culture and things of that nature. But the Arab culture that he is descended from is not really, you can say, the same Arab culture as today. The things the Quraysh did back then and what people do now. Plus, the Arab culture of now is not even the same in every country, right? My people in Maghreb, Morocco, people in Algeria, the ones who come from Arab descent, they're not. Their culture isn't the same as the people in Sham, Biladi Sham, Lebanon, Urdun, which is Jordan, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria. Like this, they're different. They're the same in some things, but it's not the same culture exactly. So if it's like, all right, if it's the Arab culture, which Arab culture? Because now Arabs don't even speak Fusha, right? It's not the people speak Fusha who go to school or who do politics or the news people. But the day-to-day, everybody speaks that. I mean, yeah, so this person speak Darija, this person speak Shami, this person speak Hijazi, this person, everybody. So it's like, okay, well, the first thing you need is a lingua franca. What's going to be the lingua franca? Oh, it's Fusha. Most people, if you speak Fusha to them, maybe they say, I understand this guy, and then they tell you something in the Amiya. You say, Assalamu alaikum. You feel what I'm saying? Rather, Islam preaches to keep your culture, but it cleanses the culture of things that could lead to regressive things, such as kufr, right? Kufr and not caring for the society around you, these things can affect your community and your culture. But Islam frees you of these things and allows you to progress. For example, one reason why you know Islam for a fact does not say that it's an Arab thing that you have to do what the Arabs do exactly. Why is it not fard that the iftar of Ramadan for the Muslimin, why is it not that it has to be some Arab dish? Why can it be any dish? This is a pillar of Islam. A pillar, right? This is a pillar. It's not something you say, oh yeah. No, everybody around the world know. When it's Ramadan, Muslims is fasting. Why is it the food that we break the fast with? It's not a mandatory Arab food, right? Yes, we pray in Arabic because the Quran was revealed in this Arabic language. It's a rich language. And then to translate it to all these other languages, you won't have the same richness to it, right? And this is also the language that God picked, which also brings me to this thing that, one thing we have to accept as a reality as human beings. We weren't, as Allah tells us, we weren't witness to our own creation. So whatever field and areas God has created us and placed us in are part of the test that God has given us. If you're a black man like myself who grew up in the hood, who grew up poor, who was a nerd, then that's what Allah gave you. You know what I mean? You also cool and you love fashion. You know what I mean? Let me get that handsome too. MashaAllah, Allahumma barik. But that's what the test Allah gave you. If you're a rich person who is Indian, Pakistani, you live a rich lifestyle, but let's say maybe you're a woman and people don't really listen to you. This is part of your test from Allah. Like, we all have tests from Allah. We have to embrace it and see how best we can live it while worshiping Him and praising Him, right? And still helping out the greater world and good that is around us. You know what I mean? So these are just things to keep in mind, I'm going to do like a more in-depth one of these in a discussion joint, but it's just some of the things to address with Dr. Umar, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'll see y'all later, man. Please, y'all like and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.